All right, let's dive straight into it then. The mood's been shifting at Rangers lately, and it's not just because of some preseason fitness or a few transfer whispers. No, this is something deeper. We're starting to get a clearer picture of what Russell Martin's blueprint looks like, and whether you agree with it or not, he's definitely stamping his authority early doors. Rangers, in classic fashion, are going about their preseason with a string of behind-closed-doors friendlies. And while that might be frustrating for us fans who are desperate for a glimpse of the new squad in action, there's actually a very deliberate reason behind it. Martin, whether you like him or not, knows exactly what he's doing. There's no escaping the fact that his arrival wasn't exactly met with universal excitement. Some fans were underwhelmed, others skeptical, and there's still a chunk of the support waiting to be convinced. So shielding the players from early negativity from that looming pressure that sometimes creeps in even during friendlies. Yeah, it makes sense. That's a manager protecting his squad. That's a guy who knows that one bad result in a preseason game with the wrong crowd could turn a skeptical fan base into a hostile one. So we've got this bounce game against Dunfermline. Yeah, Dunfermline, athletic. Not exactly Barcelona, but that's not the point. What matters is what we saw from the Rangers side. It finished 4-1, a solid performance, and while you can point to the level of opposition, the Pars finished 7th in the Scottish Championship last season, and are now being managed by none other than Neil Lennon, which adds a little extra spice to it. You still have to put the goals in the back of the net, and that's exactly what we did. But what's way more important than the scoreline is the lineup. Because Martin said something last week that turned a lot of heads. He said the next game would feature a side that's close to the 11 that'll start against Panathinaikos in that crucial European clash. So this wasn't just a run out. This wasn't about giving fringe players a chance. This was a real dress rehearsal. The team that started was Butland in goal, a back four of Tavernier, Aaron Sautar, and it looked like Max Aarons was operating out at left back. Now hold on a second. Aaron's at left back, a right-footed fullback playing out a position that raises alarm bells. Does this mean Martin's completely written off Ridvan Fraser and any other natural left-sided defender at the club? It sure looks that way. And listen, I don't care how talented you are if you're cutting in on your stronger foot every single time you're narrowing the pitch. That lack of natural width kills us against low blocks. We've seen it before and we'll see it again. It's predictable. It's easy to defend. So why do it? Maybe Martin sees something we don't, or maybe he's trying to keep Tavernier in the side at all costs, and he's twisting the rest of the back line just to accommodate him. Look, I'll say this bluntly. Keeping Tavernier at right back for another full season is a ticking time bomb. He's been a great servant. Yes, he's delivered goals and assists. But defensively, he's a liability. Statistically, according to FBref, he ranks among the worst one-on-one defenders in the league. That's not opinion. That's data. And you can't ignore it, especially not when we're heading into Europe, where the standard of opposition is even higher. Teams will target him. They'll exploit that side. And I'm just not convinced he's got what it takes anymore. A new manager should mean a fresh start, and yet here we are stuck in the same old pattern. Anyway, in midfield, we saw Rothwell, Raskin, and Diamanda. Now that trio gives us something to work with. Raskin in particular looks like a man reborn. Martin's spoken very highly of him recently, and it sounds like the days of him being burdened with carrying the entire midfield might be behind him. Last season, let's be honest, the guy was trying to do everything. He had no help, no structure, and still stood out as one of the few positives. Now, with quality around him, we might finally get to see the very best of Nicholas Raskin. A Raskin with freedom, with support, and with clarity. That's exciting. Then there's the front three, AASGAARD, Dowell, and Danilo. Let's start with AASGAARD. Scored a goal, looked lively, full of running and energy. If he can settle quickly, that's a big plus. But the real eye-opener here is Kieran Dowell. Started again. That's 3 games in a row under Martin. You don't start a guy 3 times if you don't rate him. Simple as that. And yeah, I get it. He was awful last season. I mean, really poor. But this is the beauty of a new manager. Some players just click with a new voice, a new system, a new energy. Maybe Dowell is one of them. Maybe he's finally got a manager who sees how to get the best out of him. It happens more often than we think. A player looks lost under one regime and then suddenly finds his groove under the next. So don't write him off just yet. Now let's talk about Danilo. My word, scored 1, assisted 3. Had a hand in every single goal. That's what we've been waiting to see. And to be honest, it's what some of us have been shouting from the rooftops for months now. This guy can play. He's not some dud. You don't get minutes at Ajax and Feyenoord if you're a mug. He's technically sharp, strong, mobile, intelligent. He links play, he presses, he brings others into the game, and that's exactly the kind of striker Russell Martin wants. Not just a poacher, not just a finisher, but a proper number 9 who contributes all over the pitch. I'll be real with you. He's a better striker than Desires. Not just marginally, significantly. And I don't care how controversial that sounds. Go back and watch his games. Look at the numbers. Compare their careers. Danilo's played at a higher level, scored in better leagues, and done it with more consistency. His issue, injuries. But even there, it's not like we're talking about muscle pulls or recurring fitness issues. We're talking about impact injuries, a smashed cheekbone, going in for a head or a nasty ACL from a horror tackle. That's not on him. That's bad luck. And if he stays fit this season, I genuinely believe we're talking about a striker who can hit 20 to 25 league goals and 10 more in other competitions. 30 plus goals in total. That's what he's capable of. So what happens? Now, Martin's been dropping hints. This was close to the 11 for the Panathinaikos game. Danilo's almost certainly leading the line. Design Man and Dezers weren't involved in this friendly. That's because their fitness isn't there yet. They're still weeks behind. You won't miss preseason and just walk back into the squad like nothing happened, especially under a new manager with new demands. That early preseason work is everything. It sets the tone, sets the fitness base, sets the tactical understanding. You miss it, you fall behind. And it looks like Danilo's taking full advantage of that. Now circling back to the defense quickly, Sautar and JGA look to be the center back. Pairing, and while there's some speculation about Sautar's future, it seems like Martin's going to stick with him for now. Manny Fernandez, as talented as he is, might still be a bit raw to be starting these high-pressure games. So I get that. Makes sense. The one departure that's been bubbling in the background is Clinton Enciala. Word is he's on his way out, potentially. On loan, and Belgian side Westerlo seems the most likely destination. That move actually tracks considering Ismail Charai, who used to coach at Rangers, is now the gaffer there. And Ciala made a handful of appearances last season. And while he's shown flashes, it looks like Martin doesn't see him as part of the immediate plans. And maybe that's okay. Maybe he needs regular minutes in a league like the Belgian Pro League to build his confidence back up. Let's not forget this lad was highly rated not long ago. A proper ball-playing center half with composure, but you could see that under Ferguson, his development stalled. His confidence dipped. A loan move now could be the making of him. And look, Westerlo aren't a nothing club. They finished mid-table in Belgium, and though they missed out on European competition, they're a solid outfit. And Ciala would get games there, meaningful games, and that's what he needs. And if not Westerlo, there's interest from Zulte Waregem. Two who've just come back up to the top flight after winning the Challenger League. Either way, if he gets 30 or 40 matches this season, that's a win for Rangers. Develop the asset, bring him back stronger. For once, maybe we'll loan someone out and actually benefit from it ourselves. Let's also not forget about Colin Stewart. Big move for the former Rangers goalkeeping coach. He's just joined Liverpool as part of Arne Slot's backroom staff. He's going to be working with the senior goalkeepers, including Allison, and overseeing the development pathway for the younger lads. That's a top job. Massive respect to him. He spent 9 years at Rangers, worked with the academy, then the first team, and now he's off to one of the biggest clubs in Europe. You've got to tip your hat to that. And that now makes two former Rangers coaches at Liverpool, with Giovanni van Bronckhorst also there as assistant. Maybe that says something about the level of talent we've let walk out the door. Maybe not. But still, fair play to Colin. He deserves it. All right, let's pick things back up then, because there's still plenty to unpack as we build up to that all-important clash with Panathinaikos. And make no mistake, that game is a marker, not just for the team, but for Russell Martin's entire start at Rangers. His selections, his tactical identity, and the squad's response will all be under the microscope. But the signs are there quietly but surely that this club might just be turning a corner. not with big declarations or over-the-top statements, but with sensible decisions, calculated risks, and something that's been sorely missing at IBROX for far too long, actual planning. Now, earlier we mentioned the names that didn't feature in that bounce match, most notably Design Man and Dezers. Their absence wasn't disciplinary, it wasn't tactical, it was simply down to fitness. They're not ready. They've missed chunks of preseason, and in modern football, especially with the intensity Martin's asking for, that's massive. You can't expect a player who's been out for a few weeks to just stroll into a European night and hit the ground running. And that's part of the reason why Danilo's sudden form is such a blessing. He's fit, he's firing, and he's buying into the new regime. But while the forward line looks like it's starting to settle, Danilo clearly staking a claim to lead the line, and AASGAARD quickly making a name for himself. There are still questions swirling around the squad. Not just the starting 11, but the depth, the supporting cast. And this is where things get really interesting. Kieran Dowell, for all the stick he took last season, looks to have earned himself another lifeline. Russell Martin has started him in 3 consecutive games, now including that Dunfermline match, and everything points to him being involved this season. And here's the thing, we can sit and debate whether or not he's good enough, but that's not the question anymore. The question is, does the manager trust him? And the answer is clearly yes. So now it's on Dowell to repay that trust, because there's nothing worse than wasting a second chance. Further back, the midfield shape is still evolving. We talked about Raskin earlier and how he might thrive this season with more structure around him. That's key, because a big part of Rangers' struggles last year was having players forced into roles they weren't suited for. Raskin was covering too much ground. Others weren't pulling their weight. But with Diamond beside him and Rothwell potentially offering a bit more balance, we could be looking at a midfield that finally has purpose. That isn't just 3 names on a team sheet, but an actual functioning trio that understands how to control the game. The defense, however, is where things could get rocky. Max Aarons at left back still feels awkward. It feels like a square peg in a round hole. And listen, he's a quality player. He's athletic, he's disciplined, and he'll follow instructions. But long-term, it's not the answer. You don't ask a right-footed fullback to give you natural width down the left in a system that depends on stretching the pitch. It's a short-term fix, nothing more. And if Ridvan or Fraser aren't trusted to step up, then that's something the club need to address, not just in terms of recruitment, but also in terms of development. Because if you got 2 natural left-backs sitting on the books and you're still starting someone out of position, then either they're not good enough or someone isn't doing their job in training. And then there's the case of James Tavernier. We touched on it earlier, but it needs repeating if he continues as the starting right back this season that's on Russell Martin. And if it costs us, if teams target that side and exploit his defensive frailties again and again, then that's on the manager too. It doesn't matter how many penalties he scores or how many assists he racks up. The balance of the team matters more. And if you're compromising that balance just to fit in one player, especially one who's past his peak, then you're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are reasons to be optimistic. Danilo's resurgence is one of them. The man looks sharp, he looks motivated, and most importantly, he looks like he has something to prove. That's dangerous in a good way, because this is a guy who's already played at the top level. He's got pedigree, he's got goals in his boots. And now, finally, he's got a manager who believes in him. If he stays fit, and I know that's a big if, but if he does, he's got the potential to be the difference maker in both domestic and European campaigns. He's that good. He's not just a poacher. He's not just someone who lingers in the box. He drops deep. He links play. He brings wingers into the game. He presses defenders. That's a modern striker. That's what top clubs all over Europe are demanding from their number 9s now. And that's why Dezers, for all his effort, might find himself on the bench more often than not. Elsewhere, there's the ongoing situation with Clinton Nsiala. His loan move seems imminent. Westerlo under former Rangers coach Ismail Sharai are keen. And it makes sense. The Belgian league is competitive without being overwhelming. It gives young players time on the ball space to develop, and the kind of regular football he's not going to get at IBROX right now. You'd hope this isn't just another loan where the player fades away into obscurity. You'd hope he comes back stronger, better, and ready to actually contribute. Because Rangers have had too many young players drift out of relevance without ever getting a proper shot. It's time that changed. Meanwhile, the departure of Ben Davies looks like it's just a matter of time. Birmingham City are said to be close to sealing the deal. Another one who never quite convinced. Another one who came with a bit of promise, a bit of pedigree, and just didn't deliver consistently enough. It happens. But what's important is that Rangers are starting to show a bit of ruthlessness again. No more clinging on to players just because of their price tag or their contract length. If someone's not part of the future, they're out. Simple as that. That's how proper football clubs operate. And speaking of operating like a proper club, how refreshing is it to see Rangers moving like a serious outfit again? This isn't just about transfers or preseason friendlies. It's about culture. For too long, the board was asleep at the wheel. Decisions were made with short-term thinking, personal agendas, or blind loyalty. Now, under the new leadership, you can see a change, a strategy, a plan. It's early days, sure. But it feels like Rangers are finally behaving like a modern football club again. Making smart appointments, investing in the right areas, and putting football people in charge of football decisions. That's all we've ever asked for. We even saw it with Colin Stewart's move to Liverpool. The fact that one of our own, someone, who spent nearly a decade at Rangers, is now part of Arne Slot's staff at Anfield says a lot. And no, we're not trying to claim credit for Liverpool's success, but it does show that the talent has been there behind the scenes, maybe underutilized, maybe undervalued, but it's there. And if the club can start keeping hold of that sort of quality instead of letting it walk out the door, we'll be all the stronger for it. Now, as the Panathinaikos clash looms large, there's a real sense that we're on the edge of something. Whether that something is greatness or disaster, that remains to be seen. But for once, it feels like we're going into a European qualifier with more than just hope. We've got structure, we've got direction, we've got a manager with a clear idea of how he wants to play. And whether you back Russell Martin or not, at least you can see the outline of his vision now. And in football, that counts for a lot. We'll soon know whether that vision can hold up under pressure. We'll see how much faith he really has. In players like Danilo and even Tavernier, we'll see which players rise to the challenge and which ones fall short. Because this is more than just a European tie. This is the starting point of a season that will define Martin's tenure. Get it right, and everything flows from there. Get it wrong, and the pressure mounts quickly. So buckle in, folks. The curtain's about to rise on a brand new chapter for Rangers. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like there's a bit of genuine anticipation in the air. Not blind optimism, not papering over cracks. Real anticipation. Because this squad with all its questions and quirks might just be better than we think. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's a fresh buzz rippling through the blue half of Glasgow, and it's all centered around one name, THELO AASGAARD. Whispers and murmurings have picked up pace this week, suggesting the creative midfielder could be pulling on the famous royal blue of Rangers sooner than we think. While no official statement has landed from the club just yet, sources close to the player hint that the deal might already be signed, sealed, and just awaiting that glossy IBROX unveiling. At just 22, AASGAARD has been turning heads in England with his flair, quick feet, and knack for the spectacular. A regular standout at Wigan, he's often lit up League One matches with moments of magic. And now there's growing chatter that Rangers boss Philippe Clement sees the young Norwegian as the ideal spark in midfield. Someone who can unlock tight defenses and bring a fresh attacking pulse to the light blues engine room. Fans, naturally, are already in a frenzy. Social media is ablaze with clips, comparisons, and true to form, a bit of dreaming. Some are even calling him the one to ignite IBROX. High praise for a lad yet to kick a ball north of the border. But there's a genuine excitement brewing. After all, with Cantwell looking for support and the summer departures leaving gaps to fill, a signing like AASGAARD, if true, could offer that needed injection of creativity and youthful energy. Of course, in classic transfer window style, there's always room for skepticism. Nothing is done until it's done, and the club's silence so far has only fueled speculation. Is it a done deal or another name added to the long list of summer targets linked with a move to Govan? Still, if the whispers are to be believed, THELO AASGAARD could soon be swapping the DW Stadium for the roar of IBROX, and the Gers faithful are more than ready to welcome their newest midfield maestro. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.